Imagine walking into a room where no one speaks, yet you can feel the atmosphere. You sense tension, joy, sadness, or excitement without a single word being said. That is the power of emotions. They speak a language louder, clearer, and more honest than words ever could. Every day, people around you are communicating through their energy, their expressions, their silence, and their tone. But most never take the time to listen. What if you could learn to hear beyond words? What if you could uncover the truth hidden in emotions and use that awareness to build stronger relationships, to lead with wisdom, and to live with greater clarity? In this speech, you will discover how emotions guide us, connect us, and reveal more about life than sentences ever will. Stay with me until the end, because the insights you're about to hear may change the way you see people, the way you see yourself, and the way you walk through this world forever. The unspoken language of emotion is the most powerful form of communication that exists, yet it is often the most ignored. Every single day, people speak to us without using words. Their eyes carry the weight of feelings they are too afraid to say aloud. Their tone carries the frustration or love they can't put into sentences, and their body language screams louder than any spoken phrase. When someone says, "I'm fine," but their voice cracks. When someone smiles, but their eyes are filled with pain. When silence fills the room heavier than words ever could. Those are the moments when emotions speak louder than language. To truly understand others, you must train yourself to listen with more than your ears. Listening with your eyes, your heart, and your intuition allows you to hear what words are trying to hide. This is where real wisdom is born, because words can deceive, but emotions rarely lie. People might speak what they think you want to hear, but their emotions will always reveal what they are truly experiencing inside. This unspoken language is a universal truth that crosses all barriers. It doesn't matter what country you're in, what culture you belong to, or what language you speak. A child's tears, a mother's worried glance, or a friend's forced laughter all communicate without translation. When you recognize this, you begin to notice the depth behind every interaction. The ability to interpret emotions is not just about understanding others. It's about strengthening your own awareness. It pushes you to slow down, to pay attention to the details, and to develop empathy. The more you notice these unspoken signals, the more you understand the struggles and victories of those around you. It makes you wiser in relationships, stronger in leadership, and more compassionate as a human being. The truth is, people will forget many of the words you say to them, but they will never forget how you made them feel. When you connect through emotions, you speak to the soul, and that language is far more powerful than any sentence ever spoken. Listening beyond words is an art that requires more than just waiting for someone to finish speaking. It is about truly hearing the meaning behind what is being said, the intention that lives underneath the surface of each sentence, and the emotions that color every word. Too often, people listen only with the goal of responding, rather than with the goal of understanding. When you shift your focus and begin to listen with patience, curiosity, and empathy, you begin to unlock truths that most people missed. A person's tone of voice can reveal their confidence or their doubt. Their pace of speech can reflect their excitement or their hesitation, and their pauses can carry the weight of thoughts they are too afraid to share. What remains unsaid is sometimes louder than what is spoken. Silence can speak of disappointment, of hurt, of reflection, or even of love that is too deep to be described. To listen beyond words, you must quiet your own inner voice, the one that rushes to judge, to answer, or to defend. You must create space where the other person feels safe to be authentic. When you do this, you are not only hearing their words, you are witnessing their humanity. This type of listening builds trust because people sense when they are truly heard. It strengthens relationships because it shows care and respect. It transforms conflicts because it uncovers the real issues beneath the arguments. Most importantly, it develops your ability to connect at a level that transcends language. Every interaction becomes an opportunity to grow your awareness and deepen your understanding of others. True listening also requires humility because it demands that you let go of your assumptions and surrender the need to always be right. It means you stop hearing only what you want to hear and start hearing what is really there. When you learn to listen beyond words, you discover that communication is not just about exchanging information, but about exchanging energy, emotions, and truth. and true. It becomes clear that the greatest form of respect you can offer another person is to listen to not only what they say, but also to what they feel. The power of presence is one of the most overlooked yet transformative abilities a person can develop. Being fully present means you are not distracted by the noise of yesterday's regrets or tomorrow's worries, but are completely immersed in the moment before you. When you give someone your undivided attention, you give them one of the rarest gifts in today's world. Presence allows you to notice details that others ignore, the subtle change in someone's expression, the slight hesitation in their tone, the hidden emotion carried in their posture. These are the signals that reveal the truth beneath their words, and only a present mind can catch them. Too often conversations happen while people are half listening, glancing at phones, or lost in their own thoughts. This creates distance and leaves emotions unnoticed. But when you show up fully, when you lock in with your eyes, when you silence the noise inside your head, you create a connection that feels genuine and powerful. Presence is not just about others, it is also about yourself. When you are present, you become more aware of your own emotions and reactions. You notice the way your body responds to stress, the thoughts that trigger your anxiety, and the feelings that rise within you when you are faced with challenges. This self-awareness gives you the strength to respond with wisdom instead of reacting impulsively. It helps you recognize what is real and what is just fear or assumption. Presence grounds you in truth. It also deepens your relationships because people are drawn to those who make them feel seen and valued. A moment of true presence can heal more than hours of distracted conversation. It can calm someone's storm, make them feel understood, and remind them they matter. In leadership, presence commands respect because people can sense when you are genuinely there with them instead of simply performing a role. In life, presence brings peace because it frees you from the chaos of past and future and anchors you in the only moment you can truly control, this one. When you learn to master the power of presence, you stop missing the quiet emotions reveal intentions in ways that words cannot. Words are flexible. They can be chosen, edited, and even manipulated to create a desired impression, but emotions are far more difficult to disguise. A person may speak confidently, but if their voice shakes, their fear is exposed. Someone may say they are happy for you, yet their tone or expression may reveal jealousy hiding underneath. This is why learning to read emotions is such a powerful skill, because it allows you to see past the mask people sometimes wear and understand what they truly feel and intend. Every human being gives off signals that go beyond speech. Their eyes, their posture, their energy all communicate the truth of what is inside them. When you become aware of these signals, you begin to recognize honesty versus pretense, genuine care versus empty words, and commitment versus hesitation. This awareness gives you clarity in relationships because you no longer rely only on what someone tells you, but also on what they show you, It protects you from false promises, from manipulations, and from trusting words that are not backed by true feelings. At the same time, it deepens your ability to connect with people who are genuine because you sense their sincerity through their emotions. Emotions are raw and real, and they reflect the state of the heart. Even when people try to hide their feelings, emotions often leak through in subtle ways. A long pause, a sigh, a shift in tone, these are small indicators, but together they reveal more than entire paragraphs of speech. Recognizing this truth requires patience, observation, and empathy. It means you do not rush to take everything at face value, but instead you open your mind to understanding what lies beneath. This skill also applies to yourself. Your own emotions reveal your true intentions even when your words do not. You may tell yourself you are fine with something, but if your heart resists, if your body tenses, if your spirit feels unsettled, those emotions are showing you your truth. Listening to them helps you align your actions with your real desires and values. When you understand that emotions rarely lie, you stop being misled by appearances and start making choices based on genuine understanding and ideals that hold the biggest truths, and you begin to live and connect on a deeper, more meaningful level. Building deeper connections begins with the ability to recognize and respect emotions, both your own, and those of others. People are not only seeking to be heard with their words, but to be understood in their feelings. When you look beyond what someone says and tune into how they feel, you create a space of trust that words alone could never establish. Human beings naturally gravitate toward those who make them feel safe, valued, and seen. When you pay attention to emotions, you communicate without saying it aloud that their inner world matters to you, and that is what creates true bonds. A person might forget the compliments you give them, but they will never forget the comfort you offered when they were in pain, the empathy you showed when they felt misunderstood, or the joy you shared when they celebrated. Emotions are the bridge that connects hearts, and when you honor them, relationships grow stronger. To build deeper connections, you must also learn to be vulnerable. Hiding your true emotions keeps others at a distance, but sharing your authentic self allows others to connect with the real you. Vulnerability is not weakness. It is courage because it invites honesty and shows others that it is safe for them to do the same. In friendships, in family, in love, and even in leadership, the willingness to connect through emotions turns surface-level interactions into meaningful relationships. Respecting emotions also means not dismissing or belittling them. What may seem small to you can be deeply important to someone else, and recognizing that shows compassion. It also means listening without judgment and offering presence instead of rushed solutions. Often people do not need you to fix their problems, they need you to feel with them, to stand beside them in their struggle. That act alone deepens trust and loyalty. When you consistently show this level of emotional awareness, people feel drawn to you, not because of your words, but because of the way you make them feel understood and valued. Building deeper connections requires patience, empathy, and a willingness to see beyond yourself. It is through emotions that bonds are strengthened, because emotions carry the truth of who we are and what we desire most, the simple need to be seen, heard, and loved for who we truly are. Mastering emotional awareness is one of the most valuable skills you can develop because it allows you to navigate life with clarity and wisdom. Emotional awareness means you are able to recognize what you feel, understand why you feel it, and notice how it influences your behavior. Many people move through life reacting automatically to emotions without realizing that those emotions are guiding their decisions, shaping their relationships, and even determining the quality of their future. When anger rises, they lash out. When fear shows up, they retreat. When sadness comes, they shut down. But the person who has developed emotional awareness pauses, observes, and chooses a response instead of being controlled by raw feelings. This ability gives you power over yourself because you are no longer a prisoner of impulse. You begin to recognize patterns in your emotions, such as what triggers your frustration or what inspires your joy. And with that knowledge, you can change your life deliberately rather than accidentally. Emotional awareness also allows you to understand others on a deeper level. Instead of judging people only by their words or actions, you start to notice the emotions behind those actions. You begin to see that anger often hides hurt, arrogance often hides insecurity, and silence often hides fear. This understanding creates empathy, and empathy strengthens every connection you have with others. It also allows you to handle conflicts with wisdom because you are not only reacting to what is said, you are responding to what is truly felt. Another aspect of mastering emotional awareness is balance. It does not mean suppressing emotions or pretending they do not exist. It means respecting them without letting them control you. Every emotion is a signal, a message from within that is meant to guide you, but it is not meant to dictate your destiny. By listening to your emotions with awareness, you gain insight without being overpowered. This balance gives you inner peace because you learn to flow with your feelings rather than fight them or drown in them. With time, you discover that emotional awareness is not just a tool for better relationships or personal growth, it is a pathway to wisdom. It teaches you how to stay calm in chaos, how to see truth in others, and how to walk through life with both strength and compassion at the heart of it all. Emotions are the language of the soul. They carry the truth that words often hide, the signals that reveal what truly matters, and the energy that binds us to one another. When you learn to listen beyond words, when you choose presence over distraction, when you recognize that emotions reveal intentions, and when you honor those emotions with empathy, you gain the power to build connections that are deeper, stronger, and more meaningful than anything spoken. Mastering this awareness is not just about understanding others. It is about transforming yourself, becoming more patient, more compassionate, and more in control of your own life. People may forget the words you say, but they will never forget how you made them feel. Let your life be a message that speaks through emotion, through sincerity, and through presence, because that is the language that always speaks louder than words. Thank you for listening, and may you carry this awareness with you into every conversation, every relationship, and every challenge ahead. Good luck on your journey. Stay strong, stay true, and may your actions and your presence always speak the loudest.